Hey guys, I hope you're doing well. I thought that it would be great for me to be able to come and just give you a little mini training on what I call a CEO weekend. This training is really for my retreat attendees that are coming in just a little over a week. We're about to have a full CEO weekend, and so I wanted to help them get prepared for the work that we're going to do over that weekend. If you are not a part of the retreat, that's okay. You can do this SheEO weekend on your own. And also, you can sign up for next year to be a part of the retreat. You're getting kind of a little freebie insight into the work that we're about to do. It's going to be amazing. This is just a little training to get you going as you start the new year. So, a little backstory, what the SheEO weekend is. When I moved to Alabama, I realized as I was scaling my business that I needed to be able to take some time to get away and to just do the work of my business, not editing pictures, not, doing all of like the client things as part of the business and kind of getting out of the weeds, but to really do the work of nurturing my actual business, to do the work of a CEO, not the work of the employee, but the work of the boss. And so I asked my husband if I could get away for a full weekend so that I could just reflect on the previous year and really plan intentionally for the coming year. So when I did that, I went away to Atlanta for 3 days. It was amazing. Hands down, the best decision for my business. And honestly, why I feel like that year I made about a $60,000 jump in revenue. It was a huge jump for my business, and I think it was because of that weekend and taking that time to really sit down and plan out what I wanted my business to look like in the coming year. So I'm going to kind of run through just some practicals of how to do this weekend so that you can do this for yourself or in a group setting, which I definitely suggest. So, first off, let's just talk about location. So, I really am a big proponent of physically leaving your house and going away, renting an Airbnb for a weekend so that you can have uninterrupted time. It is very difficult, I'd almost say impossible, to do this at your home. If you're like me or the majority of women that I know, when you're at home, you're going to find things that need your attention. It doesn't matter if you lock yourself in an office or in your bedroom. Your life, your work, your distractions are still right there. And so, like any other business, you need to be able to go away and to work and to focus. You may not be quite in a season of life where you can take a full weekend. And I understand that. I've been in those seasons as well where it wasn't feasible to get an Airbnb for a whole weekend. If you can, I highly suggest it. Save up throughout the year. Again, this goes back to treating your business like a business, not like a hobby. You need to save up for that time away, for you to be able to leave. If you can't, you can also do this by breaking it up into like smaller chunks of time, maybe saying like 4 hours, 4 hours a day for 3 days, or, something like that. And going to like a Panera or a coffee shop, a local coffee shop. I'm always a big fan of supporting local, somewhere quiet. I would not suggest like a Starbucks anywhere that's really busy, but someplace that is a little quieter that you can really focus, and getting childcare, going away for those hours, and really having that separation from home and work. So that's kind of the first thing is the location. The next part of this SheEO weekend is the pre-planning, right? So like you're planning to be able to plan. I have had those weekends where I've gone away and I didn't plan ahead. And so when I finally got the time, I sat down and I was like, I don't even know where to begin. It's so overwhelming. The amount of ideas that have been like formulating in my mind and running around. I'm not even sure what direction I'm going. And so this is going to be kind of some grunt work you need to do. before you go away for this weekend, you need to print out all of your relevant information. So, financially, getting your profit and loss statements ready. If you have those, if you have an accountant that can get those to you, if not, printing out all of your income for the year and all of your expenses for the year, a printout of your sessions and a breakdown of those sessions, like how many family sessions, how many newborn sessions, how many maternity sessions, really trying to hone in on where was your money coming from this year, because you may be surprised. And so any documentation that you have that you can print out, any charts, any graphs, any Excel spreadsheets, anything. If you have a CRM, you can run reports there. Anywhere that you have numbers. If you have any analytics on your website, or even pulling your social media reports, looking at your growth, like your engagement, your followers, your like which post had the most comments, which things had the most likes, really trying to just pull all of that data in so you have it in one place, because what you don't want is to spend your whole weekend looking through numbers and trying to like print things on the spot. Like that will take your whole weekend just trying to dig through and print stuff. So if you can do this work beforehand, you're going to be great to go. For my girls that are coming in to the retreat, bring all of that stuff with you. Don't wait until you get there to start thinking about like how much did I make this year, or what sessions did I have this year? What worked, what didn't? Don't wait until that weekend. Come ready with like a binder and have all those things right at your fingertips so that you can dive right in. So that's the first thing, is the pre-plan. So gathering all your materials, that would be step one. Step two would be to really plan out your agenda for that SheEO weekend. So you don't want to get to that hotel room or that Airbnb. You have all your things, but you have no idea like what it actually is you wanted to work on for that weekend. And so going ahead and planning out your agenda. Any business meeting has an agenda, and yours should as well. So I actually sat down and planned out my agenda for our retreat weekend in here. And it has a breakdown of work blocks, and specifically, okay, so here's a block for looking at the figures from last year and then setting an income goal for this year. There's a block for podcasting and books, things that I want to read, things that I want to listen to. We have so many books we never get to read, and podcasts that we know we want to listen to but don't have a chance. I have a stack of books right here. Let's see if you can see some of these. This isn't even all of them, but this is some of them. Now, I will not get through all of these in a weekend. That's like not even possible. But I do want to schedule out some intentional breaks from the labor and the writing and the planning to stop and actually read some of these things that I know are going to propel my business. Profit first, making sure that we're getting paid. That was huge last year, and I didn't make it through the whole thing, but I did start to implement some of it. And so I want to go back through. Story branding, huge if you're any sort of small business, and really getting your clients to know that they're the hero of the story and what it is that they can expect, like what problems you're solving for them. She sells. I am transitioning into a virtual IPS model this year. That's a big, scary thing for me. Prices are going up. And so I really want to make sure that I am ready to serve my clients in a way that is meaningful to them and also is profitable for me. So those are a few of them. There are others, but those are just some of the ones on my reading list. So I encourage you to sit down and map out what it is that you want that weekend to look like. What time blocks do you have? You might not be someone that needs like an exact like, oh, this is, from 9 to 9:40, I'm going to do this. Maybe that's too structured for you. That's okay. But you can say, okay, so these are the main tasks that I want to get done over the course of this weekend. And so I'm going to make sure that I time block those things so that I don't feel like I've gotten to Sunday and I'm like, oh gosh, all I did was answer emails. Okay. Also, I don't want you to answer emails during SheEO weekend. That is not what the boss does. You are boss this weekend, and I can't say that enough times. So um, save all that busy work for another day, not for this time. This is the time for you to dream and to plan and to be intentional. Um, let's see, there was something else I wanted to say about that, but maybe I'll come back to it. Okay, so you've got all your things, you've got all your materials, you've got all your documentation, so you're ready to really like run what worked last year, what didn't work this year. You have a list of the tasks and the items that are really specific. Quarterly planning, I would definitely include that in your weekend. I do have a free template that's out right now. So, my girls, you'll have copies, you'll have access to that for the retreat. And if not, you can reach out to me. You can DM me on Instagram, and I'd be happy to send you the link for your quarterly planning sheets. I would definitely include some quarterly planning time. It works best when goals are broken down into smaller pieces and you know exactly like what money are you trying to make in quarter one and how are you going to make it. And so instead of just like, oh, I hope I book some sessions, you need to be real intentional about that. Um, oh, yes, there is something I wanted to show you. So this lovely guy right here. Okay, I know it's like hard to see, but this is a 13 by 19 calendar. I have one for each month of the year. And this came from Steph Crowder. She has a program called Year on the Wall. I highly suggest it if you have an office space where you can hang calendars. I didn't, but my husband just created this office space for me, which sometime I'm going to show you guys because it's really cool. But it's a whole like sticky note system, and it's where you really plan out your month, and you block off your times that you're off. You plan for what sessions you're booking that month, how many of them that you need. You put your revenue on that calendar. You block off, like, again, your CEO time where you're working on your course launches or your sessions that you're trying to promote. Things that, like, if you have a Mother's Day thing, it doesn't start the month that you have sessions. And so planning for that, when are you going to sit down and really do the work of those things that you're launching? And so then you can put those months all on the wall. I will have like a quarter at a time. So like January, February, March will be on my wall. And those calendars are coming with me to the retreat, to the Realign retreat in January, because I'm going to actually be mapping out those things on my calendars while I'm at the retreat. So um, I highly recommend You're on the Wall. If you can find that training, it's like a couple hour training that you can purchase and go through and really help you to like plan. So, having all of those things, and I talked about sticky notes, having your highlighters, having your pens, having sticky notes. I'm the type of person that when I'm like, I don't really like cleaning. And so when I need to clean, I like go and buy a bunch of new cleaning supplies. It makes me happy and like gets me excited to clean. I don't know. It's weird. Maybe you're like that. Same thing with planning. So when I need to go and like really focus in on my business and do some pretty hard work, that some mental work, then I kind of start gathering like all of my supplies. I want to have everything right there with me, freshly sharpened pencils, highlighters, pens, markers, sticky notes, my quarterly planning sheets, everything right there with me. For my retreat girls, I am bringing a bunch of supplies for you, so you don't really have to worry about that. But if you do want to do something like the Year on the Wall and have some big calendars that you map things out on, you can also print those out and order them. Okay, so the next thing, which arguably is really one of the most important things, is really celebrating the year that you've had. So I know for me, it's really tempting to just gather all of this stuff, gather all the books. I have like a million course ideas and launches and all the things that are like spinning in my head and the ways that I would like to increase my revenue this coming year and kind of pivot things. But a lot of times I forget to stop and think about the things that have gone really well. And maybe I didn't hit every goal because I didn't. Because last year I can tell you I wrote out like entirely too many goals. this was like my goal list for 2024. And I think I got about a quarter of them. I'll need to go back and look at what I actually did. Um, See if there's any more I can check off. But I over planned, or I over dreamt for last year. I do plan on this year kind of really honing in on just a few goals for the year, not having like so many, but really having a few and putting some action steps behind those few goals. But I want to celebrate the things that happened last year, that the things on my goal list that I was able to check off. One of the things was launching a membership in my photography business. And I did that. I had my first membership with my family photography clients, and it went great. And so, as I'm about to start replanning that launch for this coming year, I want to celebrate that it worked and that I had a steady stream of income from that membership that really helped me have time to plan and be more present for my educational pieces. So, celebrate, like, take time to give yourself the pat on the back, to go get yourself the coffee that you want, and to go get that pedicure that you've been putting off for too long, and do something to really celebrate yourself and how much you have worked hard this year. Okay, so the actual CEO weekend that you have, we've talked about being prepared with all of your numbers. We've talked about planning out what that weekend is going to look like. We've talked about celebrating the wins that you've had the year before. Logistically, just a little note on logistics. Make sure that you have a plan for all of the like little things that need to run in the background for you to be away for the weekend. So for instance, food, you need to eat. If you're coming to the retreat, you don't have to worry about that because all the food is going to be there for you. And I also have a little surprise, but I'm going to not share that with you guys right now. But if you're going away for a weekend, you don't want to be trying to waste time thinking about where you're going to eat and where you're going to eat. And I'm the type of person that like, I really look forward to food when my kids aren't around and eating whatever like the heck I feel like eating. So look at what are the restaurants where you're going. Like if you plan on eating out, do not spend your whole weekend cooking. That takes away valuable work time. Now, if you want to like pre-make your meals and bring them so that all you have to do is like pop them in the oven or the microwave while you're working, that's fine too. But just make sure that your food is already planned for. You might want to DoorDash some of your meals in. Like if you're not wanting to leave the Airbnb too much, you might want to like go ahead and plan to have some things delivered that you can eat while you're there. Whatever that is, just make sure you already have a plan for those things. And lastly, this is the last little thing. As you're planning your year, I want you to make sure that you also include a plan for networking. This is an area that I have neglected in the past, but have realized how valuable it is. As a business owner, we tend to be isolated. Well, I should say as a like solopreneur, as a single one-man show, we tend to be really focused like here and just on like getting our work done and doing our thing, and we don't have a lot of connection with the outside world. And that is to our detriment. And that is one of the biggest downfalls, and why people get burned out so often. They don't have a network. They're always hustling for that next client on their own. And so, networking is kind of multi-purpose. You want a network of other creatives, like at the Realign retreat. There's going to be several of us there that we can have other eyes on our businesses. We can share dreams, share ideas, have people to say, well, have you thought about that? Or what about this? That's like one type of networking. The other type of networking is networking with other businesses that can help propel your business, that you both can bring clientele to each other. We don't need to be the only ones bringing clients in. And when we are, we're making it really hard on ourselves. So you need to plan, because it won't happen if it's not planned. But you need to plan to have one or two networking events a month. That doesn't mean that you're hosting. That really can just literally mean one or two things that you're going to. It could be coffee with another local business that you might be able to partner with at some time. It could be going to an already planned networking event. There's so many small business groups in every city. So looking and finding out what's happening in your area and going and letting people see your face and letting people get to know you and exchanging information so that you can have other people that are able to say, hey, have you heard about such and such? I think they'd be a good fit for what you're looking for. And so really taking that planning out when you're looking at your month and you're looking at your quarter, sticking in some networking into that calendar as well. Okay, that was a fire hose of things. And it was, I know it was a little long. So if you stuck with me, I'm proud of you. And I hope that you got some ideas for your weekend away. If I'm going to see you soon, my girls, I cannot wait. I hope you are ready to do the work because this is going to be awesome. And I hope it really is going to start you off for your best year yet. If you aren't joining us this time, go away by yourself and enjoy a few days where you just get to reset and realign. It's going to be amazing and you deserve it. Your business really deserves it. Okay. You can't be your best if you don't take the time to really plan for it. If you haven't joined for this year, I hope you will reach out to get on the wait list for next year. My plan is for this retreat to happen yearly. And so I can't wait to share that with you. And I will talk to you guys later. Good luck.